Hey y'all, it's Folkroot. I'm excited to be back, and I was going to do a video on agricultural animals and their place in Tradcraft, but honestly, I've had some things going on, so I actually wanted to talk about deities and spirits in your practice, and how they're not necessarily permanent beings in your practice. While that might be the case, some spirits and deities or any type of power that you work with might be permanent in your practice, and that's totally valid. Some of them just aren't, even if you think they are. For me personally, I was working with two different deities of the same pantheon, and it started off great. I worked with them all the time. I felt like I learned many lessons through them about myself and my practice, and I felt like they helped me grow into, knowing my power and knowing how to um, handle even like little things like stress, and just, asserting my dominance where I needed to in my practice and with people, and keeping boundaries, and just all sorts of different things. And weaving magic with them has been an honor. And then I sometimes, those deities and those spirits, it's time to part. And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, some spirits are not meant to be forever, and that's okay. In my practice, it started out as it was just kind of like one of those, I felt kind of this spiritual, like rift of energy between me and, my deities and my spirits. And, doing divination to figure that out is essential. So what I did was I did some divination and asked, and like channeled my spiritual court and asked if they were still with me, and all that. And they're like, the cards that I drew were like, we're still with you, but we feel like you're not with us. And it just kind of hit home, because that always doesn't have to be the case. It may not be them, it could be you. You could be ready to move on from them. And again, that's completely okay, but handling that in a respectful way is also important. So for me, I asked permission if they were okay with me parting ways. They were definitely okay with it, and basically my craft, my personality, myself had outgrew them as a whole. And honestly, it hit very emotionally hard for me during that reading, and I actually did cry a little bit. They've been with me for about almost a year, I think, and now I'm shifting into this new unknown territory of working with a whole different pantheon, a whole different group of spirits that I've never worked with. And if you're curious, I'll tell you it is the Egyptian pantheon. But this is something that is going to be totally new for me, and I'm definitely excited to explore it. But I wanted to go over working with these deities and how to properly step down from working with them. And I think divination is a big part. Like, if you've seen the signs, like those kind of rifts of energy where you feel like you're not really connected, or even like when you give offerings and, you light their candles and they're just not. It just seems like they're not there. For me, like, the candles would just snuff out by themselves. The offerings didn't really feel connected as they should when I made them. And honestly, the energetic bond that I had with them just in the beginning, it just wasn't there. I didn't have, the visions and the dream trance work while I was, going on witch flight, or if I was sleeping. I didn't have dreams about them anymore. All sorts of things. And sorry, my cat's right here being super needy. So just so many different telltale signs. And then, of course, using divination to kind of bridge that gap and figure out what exactly is going on is very important. Because you don't want to just break it off, especially because that could be very rude to them. It's rude to yourself. And then next thing you know, you have spirits mad at you, and then you got to atone for it, and all sorts of different stuff going on. So definitely do divination, figure out what's going on, delve into kind of their messages, channel their messages, use multiple types of divination if you feel like that's what you want to do. Mine's just been a mix of signs, and then I used my tarot cards to figure out that they're okay with me parting ways, and I'm very thankful for them. And how I plan on parting ways with them, and how other people can also part ways with their deities and spirits, is they could, like what I'm going to do, I'm going to do a farewell offering, a farewell prayer, and then I will, cleanse, banish, all that good stuff, and then we will do a whole dedication process to those new deities and spirits that I will be working with. And for me, I'm doing this under the dark moon, because I feel like that's just kind of like what's appropriate, kind of that secrecy aspect of the dark moon, and that's something I really liked. I won't go into too much detail about like what I'm doing, because obviously I don't want to discuss that in a public manner. But if you're close to me, you pretty much know what I'm doing. But yeah, I think a big aspect of this is that you have to be respectful when stepping down from spirits and deities, and just severing ties with them and dismantling their altars without even consorting with them first, in my opinion, is very disrespectful. And there's nothing wrong with switching or being interested in new spirits or deities, but again, I think you should also consort with them before you make any major changes in your practice. I know a lot of people on TikTok will like hop pantheons and collect spirits like their Pokemon cards, which is terrible. And that's something I definitely don't do, because I don't condone that in my practice or my tradition anyway. I think it's very important that you find what you align with on an energetic level, and you ask permission from them spirits, and as long as you aren't practicing close practices, I mean, go for it. Just be open to new experiences. But that's kind of the video I wanted to make, just to know that spirits aren't always long-term in your practice, and that's completely okay. And it is definitely okay to mourn over them, and it's definitely okay to feel sad about that. Even I know, some men are like, don't show feeling. Okay, well, yeah, it's definitely okay to show emotion over that, especially when sometimes they were the only ones that were there for you. And that's kind of why I make this video, just kind of as a dedication to thank them out loud, and just share with you all kind of a sneak peek behind what's going on in my life, as well as showing that, just because things change doesn't mean that it's for the worse. And sometimes things change for the better, and I definitely think that you can outgrow energies, you can outgrow spirits, you can outgrow deities, but all in all, that respect, checking with those energies, making sure things are okay. Like, divination we're always doing divination before we do anything, okay? And if you're not, please start doing that. Do it for yourself, and do it for the spirits, do it for, the universe itself. You don't want to weave magic without knowing what's going to happen. But that's all for today's video, and I'm sorry if it was kind of like depressing, but I just kind of wanted to have a heartfelt video to say that it's always okay not to be okay. It's always okay if things change in your practice, but what's most important is that you keep practicing and you keep moving along. And as always, if you all ever need anything, you can always comment, and I'll be here.